Now at 5, thousands gather at protests across the country, all calling attention to the Trump administration's actions.
I don't think they know what not having a democracy means.
Plus, a local nonprofit is scrambling after decades of continuous federal funding comes to an abrupt end.
A short, brusque email that said, as of today, your funding is done.
And later, a staple of the Rose Festival and one of the Coast Guard's oldest running ships is commemorated. Traffic was shut down in downtown Portland as thousands gathered to tell the Trump administration, hands off. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5. I'm John Adams. This demonstration is one of many that took place across the country. Our Celine Stevens went to several of those rallies today and joins us live from the waterfront where the largest one has wrapped up. Celine, what did people tell you today?
John, people told me all the issues that they currently see with the Trump administration and DOJ and how they want change now. So I'm currently standing at NATO Parkway where just a couple of hours ago it was flooded with what appeared to be thousands of people who were out here marching for democracy, as they say.
Hey, hey! Hands off our rights, hands off our Social Security, on and on and on. I could go on forever.
Trump and Musk have got to go!
Hands-off protests took over the country Saturday, with crowds of hundreds and even thousands of people showing up at some locations, including Portland.
Woo! Right now, the democracy in our country is going off the cliff, and we're trying to hold on to it.
The crowd so big, parts of NATO Parkway had to be shut down due to people flooding the streets.
Fight back!
I think it's absolutely great. Absolutely great that people are fed up with it enough to come out in numbers like this.
Hey!
The protests popping up in multiple cities in Oregon, like Tigard. Protesters telling me their grievances with the Trump administration.
Cutting back on aid for either foreign countries or right here in our own country. Cutting back on Medicaid and any help to the poor. Also stopping the DEI.
Talk of tariffs also coming up following the president's speech Wednesday about reciprocal tariffs being placed on other countries in an effort to make America wealthy again, according to the president.
For years, hardworking American citizens were forced to sit on the sidelines as other nations got rich and powerful, much of it at our expense. But now it's our turn to prosper. But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So
that's ridiculous because the tariffs will just be passed on to us. And that's the problem. Things are always passed on to us. You know, people that are rich, they don't care.
Vancouver also saw some action, protesters expressing anger over recent federal cutbacks thanks to the Trump administration, as well as DOJ led by Elon Musk. Some of these cutbacks affecting Veterans Affairs, the Social Security Administration, and more.
I just went on Social Security. It's a great system. I think we're at a turning point. You're either going to fund this stuff or you're going to have half these people, probably myself included, we're going to be living in tents on the street.
Some calling the current environment a travesty.
I think it's a disaster. Way too much going on. Some of the people that have been put into office have no business being there.
Protesters telling me the impacts affecting a range of agencies and people.
I am a scientist. I work on HIV, and this is impacting my work. People are getting laid off, grants are getting defunded. It's just shocking that what the government is doing.
As you can see, the scene has died down dramatically. The protesters have left and the roads are reopened. Portland Police Bureau did tell me that one woman was arrested for vandalizing a Portland Fire and Rescue rush unit. That said, police also shared with me that protesters were very collaborative and shared those march routes with them as well to ensure safety. John?
All right, our Celine Stevens live tonight. Celine, thank you so much for that hustle earlier this morning. I know it was a busy morning around the area. Thank you. All right, Senator Ron Wyden released a statement in regards to the protest here and across the country. He said he wishes he could have been at the protest instead of in Washington, D.C., but he can feel and hear the people power at this rally and others like it today. More federal funding cuts mean some Oregon museums, libraries, and cultural centers are seeing their own budgets dwindle. The National Endowment for the Humanities has pulled millions in grants.
Wednesday night at 10 o'clock, I opened an email, a short, brusque email that said, as of today, your funding is done. Rescinded.
Oregon Humanities, an independent nonprofit, had received uninterrupted funding for more than 50 years. But since that notice, the executive director says they've been scrambling since federal funding makes up nearly half of their budget.
To figure out what's going on, how to connect with partners, how to connect with grantees, how to contest this. So in the name of efficiency, it's fairly inefficient.
Davis says he expects Oregon Humanities will survive this since they get other funding from the state, from donors and foundations. But councils in other states might not be as lucky, with federal funding making up a majority of their budget. Locally, there have been cuts to programs that aim to help low-income families educate their kids. Thousands of Washington and Oregon families are being impacted by DOGE cuts to Head Start programs. The Region 10 office, which also serves Alaska and Idaho, is now closed, leaving parents, teachers, and kids at risk. Eric Wilkinson with our Seattle sister station shows us what's at stake.
The 6 people fired by DOGE this week helped service some 33,000 families in the region, 11,000 of them here in Washington, and there are concerns that these cuts could go deeper.
I'll go get story time ready.
The Head Start program serves low-income families in more ways than just early childhood education. It helps women escape domestic violence. Homeless families find shelter. It's often the last safety net for desperate parents and their kids simply looking to survive. There are 450 families in Snohomish County alone.
Do you want some help with your work?
This week, Head Start's Region 10 headquarters in Seattle was shut down by the Trump administration. The 6 employees fired from that office serviced programs in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Alaska, essentially leaving those programs with no return for guidance and support. It's part of the Trump administration's effort to streamline government and make it more efficient. The overall plan is to cut 10,000 workers from the Office of Health and Human Services. But those working in classrooms like this one say the human cost would be great.
If a family is worried about where they're going to get their next meal, or if they have a roof over their head, they're not going to be thinking, oh, does my child know the alphabet or numbers? No, they're in crisis mode.
Staff here tells us that federal Head Start administrators will be coming here to the Northwest to make sure that these programs do have all the support they need. In Everett, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
We've been covering demonstrations for weeks, as well as the latest actions by the Trump administration. To find our previous coverage, check out our website, kgw.com, or our YouTube channel. You can also watch through our streaming channel, KGW+. Well, turning now to weather, and it was an absolutely fantastic day outside. We saw plenty of people at Washington Park earlier this afternoon. And back here in our studio, we're keeping track of our next chance for some rain out there. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joining us from the Weather Center. Hey, Joe.
Hey there, John. Yeah, those cherry blossoms, man, I could stare at those all day long. And we're looking at those cherry blossoms really starting to pop across the metro area and especially down in Salem. But I want to take you out into wine country from our Chehalem tasting room over in Sherwood. We're looking at temperature of 69 degrees at this hour. The Portland International Airport saw temperatures close to the mid-70s. So for the second day in a row, we saw temperatures well above average for this time of year by about 10-15 degrees or so. Heading into tomorrow, we are going to be seeing some changes. Right now on the radar, we just have some high clouds filtering in, but I am tracking the cold front that's going to be moving on shore by tomorrow morning. Right around sunrise is when we'll be starting to see those showers kind of move on through. And once that front moves through, it is going to be bringing in some heavy showers along the coast. But by 7:30 tomorrow morning, we're going to be looking at mainly dry conditions throughout the east side of Multnomah County, but parts of downtown we'll start to see those showers move through. But once that front parks overhead, it is going to be a wet Sunday with rainfall amounts anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch of rain. And we will be seeing a wet end to the weekend, to say the least. I'll talk more about that and what you can expect to see over the next few days coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. And we want to let you know about a traffic update that started today. Until Sunday, April the 20th, riders of the Max Red Line will be detoured around construction at PDX. As part of the Port of Portland's Phase 2 work at PDX, they're building more direct and efficient paths to the airport's Max station. TriMet says this will not have a significant impact on service. And one of the main access routes to Washington Park is now closed following a landslide in the West Hills. PBOT says the slide closed Southwest Tichenor between West Burnside and Kingston. Barricades are in place to warn people more rocks and debris could be coming down. Southwest Vista and Park Place are your best alternatives.